Alright, in this video and in the previous videos, I've been talking about how to analyze and approach Shakespearean sonnets, but this one's a little bit different. This is just simply more practice with being able to identify meter and the different types of sonnets and other types of meters. So we're going to start with Shall I Compare Thee to a Summer's Day. As review, what we did to notice that it was a sonnet is the first thing we like. It has 14 lines. And we counted them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 11, 12, 13, 14. The other thing about a Shakespearean sonnet that makes it unique is it has what we call quatrains, 3 of them, and then a couplet. And we could identify that as 4 lines, 4 lines, 4 lines, and then 2 that rhymed at the end here. The other thing we noticed about a Shakespearean sonnet that made these quatrains was that there was a hard stop at the end of those, and there was A, B, A, B, and I'm going to switch to black, C, D, C, D, E, F, E, F, and G, G rhyme scheme. And the way we did that is we associated that sound with that one, 8 with 8, Eins with C, etc. That's how we identify rhyme scheme. So we knew it was a Shakespearean play, or Shakespearean play, a Shakespearean sonnet because it's 14 lines. It has a tight rhyme scheme. It's got the quatrains and then the 2. And the other thing that we noticed is that it had iambs. Shall I compare to a summer's day? And we said that was unstressed, stress, unstressed, stress. You get the picture. And then we 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which is why we knew because 5 equals penta. Penta, so we're like that has to be iambic pentameter. So this is the Shakespearean sonnet. So now the challenge is can we see a sonnet that we've never read before and go, hey, yeah, that's a sonnet, without looking up and seeing whether it's a sonnet or not by looking on the internet. Well, the first litmus test is does it have 14 lines? Well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 13, 14. It definitely does. This might be a sonnet. My galley charged with forgetfulness. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It definitely has iambic pentameter, and if we did the same exercise for every line, we would notice that. So then we're like, does it have a rhyme scheme? Well, kind of look at it. S, and then these, let's see, so this is A, oh, there's the other one. S, so S and S, and then we got B, B, so pass and alas. So forgetfulness, pass, alas, coolness, readiness. Oh wait, that matches this one. Case, a pace. We're going to put that sound as C. And then back to S, that puts us at A. And now we've got ain, and we haven't seen any words that rhyme with it. So we're going to, we got to put a new letter. So A, B, B, A, C, C, A, D. And then we haven't seen anything rhyme with ents yet. So we're going to go E, E, and then pain rhymes with disdain. So we're going to go D. And then we have sort, and we have port. So C, D, E, F, and F. So it definitely has a solid rhyme scheme. And when we look at the pattern too, we're looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So this is kind of one of these tricky ones where like people would consider this to be its own pattern of 8 lines followed by 6 lines. And this is a specific type of sonnet known as a Petrarchan sonnet. And it's characterized by having 8 and then 6 lines with the rhyme schemes that kind of match. These kind of match, although this couplet stands out. It's a little bit different. But you know that it's a Petrarchan sonnet when it's got a pattern of 8 that kind of go together, and A goes all the way down to here. and then D, E, E, F, and F go here. You could technically call this its own quatrain, but we're not going to roll with it because you could have a quatrain and a couplet. That's really how that one breaks down. Nonetheless, that's a sonnet. 14 lines, got all of those things. Moving on to the next one. Putting in the Seed by Robert Frost. Love Robert Frost. He sneaks in these classical forms into his poetry all the time. One of my favorite poets that I'd ever read growing up. And I didn't like poetry, so this guy must have been really good. So I look at it. You come to fetch me from my work tonight. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Definitely iambic pentameter. And if I follow it down, it follows the same pattern. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. That's 14 lines. It's looking like a sonnet to me, but the last thing is to kind of look at its rhyme scheme. Night, and then sea, white, and then tree, and then quite, and then pea, and then sight, and then me, then earth, and seed, and birth, and weed, and then comes and crumbs. Well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is yet another Petrarchan sonnet because it has 8 and it has 6. And once again, we see the other pattern where we have a quatrain followed by a couplet down here. So let's see if, is this a sonnet? Well, I was afraid the past would catch up with me. And sometimes it's got this, there are these things where it's like dactyl or trochee or spondaic, but we're going to count that as being pentameter. We're going to go A, B, A, B with the rhyme scheme. And now we got C, D, C, D, E, F, E, F, and once again G, G. Rhyme scheme, iambic pentameter, 14 lines. Tight rhyme scheme, it is a sonnet. What kind of sonnet do we ask? Well, A, B, A, B, C, D, C, D, E, F, E, F, G, G. We have a quatrain, 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 and a couplet. So this is a Shakespearean sonnet. Moving along then, this is not a sonnet, but I definitely wanted to show it to you as another exercise in meter. So this is of a different meter than iambic pentameter, and this is by William Wordsworth, and there's more down there. We're not going to interpret the whole poem. We're just going to break down what we see here. I wandered lonely as a cloud. So we have 4 iambs here that floats on high or vales and hills. Once again, we have 4. And actually, if you count your way down, you notice every line will have 8 syllables pretty much. And, or what we call 4 iambs. Well, with regard to meter, if we were to say what is the predominant meter of this, it wouldn't be iambic pentameter. The magic prefix for 4 when we talk about meter is tetra. And so this would be considered iambic, sorry, handwriting, iambic tetrameter. And once again, why do you need to know this? You know what, you'll probably have to do this on one of the test questions. But one of the things that I want you to consider is when you have poetry that has these types of meters, and when the poet has taken the time to organize their rhyme scheme and the syllable patterns, and the same thing is true here to do a Petrarchan sonnet or a Shakespearean sonnet. When they've done that, they're doing it with a very formal diction and very formal tone most of the time. to kind of elevate the importance of the artwork that they're putting forward in terms of the poetry. That's why we talk about, when we talk about patterns, did they structure it highly into a very disciplined thing? As somebody who's attempted to write sonnets in the past, these are hard to write. Like following the rules of the syllables, following the rules of the rhyme scheme, um, following the rules that you have to fit it into that box of 14 lines, it takes a lot of thought. It takes a lot of like drafting and trying new words out and new rhymes. And so it's meant to show that the tone is very formal and that the form itself is a very, it has traditional roots. And that's exactly why when you see a sonnet, you should kind of appreciate it for, even if you don't understand it, like you got to give credit where credit is due with how hard the poet must have worked to get it to conform just to those rules. All right, well, this was just more examples of sonnets, but also identifying rhyme scheme and meter.